Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Collector Stream YouTube channel. Hope you guys are all doing very well tonight. Tonight I thought about what content to make, and then right now with the Mega Evolution set dropping in Japan, I thought it will be a fitting video to talk about the Scarlet and Violet era. Namely, I'm going to be scoring all of the set from the Scarlet and Violet base set all the way to the very last subset, which is Black Bolt and White Flare. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to propose a unique way of looking at each era. So if you guys enjoy what I'm about to present to you, please give me a like and subscribe. Then I can continue to make more. This one I plan to do a two-part video because Scarlet and Violet is quite a large era. So I'll split it off in the middle and then cover about 5 to 6 set for each video around the 15 to 20 minute mark. And then if you guys haven't subscribed already, we are doing a 2,000 subs giveaway, and we're quickly approaching it. So hopefully we can, hit it in maybe in September or October of this year. And the winner will be winning this beautiful Paldea Evolve Case Fresh booster box. And some people in the comment section have asked, hey Ken, if it's actually it's a bit of a thunderstorm outside. If you're located in Hong Kong right now, there's been like torrential rain happening for the whole week. So hope you guys are staying safe wherever you are. But talking about geographic location, wherever you are located, I will be able to mail this to you. Or if the tariff is getting too out of hand, I will directly give you guys maybe a PayPal transfer. Then you guys can go and purchase the if you win the item. So that answers some of the questions, because I've been getting that a lot in the comments asking, oh hey, do global viewers apply? Of course you do, yeah, because as long as you subscribe to the channel, you are part of the spin. If you aren't part of the spin, just click on the link below or send me an email, and then I'll manually add you guys to the lottery spin once we hit 2,000 subs. What we have here on screen right now is something that I have coined the Can Score, and it's inspired by a famous car reviewer on YouTube. So if you guys are into cars, you guys might know which guy I'm talking about. But basically, it has been massaged to fit the Pokemon investing scene. So then to the left of the spreadsheet is the collector score, and then to the right I have put investability score. So if you are an investor and a collector, it's sometimes you need to put on the collecting hat, and then sometimes you're going to put on the investing hat. They are kind of counter forces, I would say, because as a collector, you do not really want to sell your your pulls, your chase card pull, and it integrates a PSA 10, and then there is like a nostalgic factor to it, and you don't want to really sell at a car show or trade it away. But then when you become a Pokemon investor, you kind of have to remove that hat and then just think of it as a stock, or as like an index fund, or it's something that you cannot be too attached, because it's a paradox, because you cannot be, oh, I'm a collector, but then I want to also make some money out of this hobby, and then because then now you're touching the realm of being an investor. So for the viewers of this channel, that is also a good question to ask yourself. Are you leaning more towards collecting right now, or are you guys looking more long term and want to become investor? Because they're very different things. Think about investing as like you're looking at a stock, and the worst thing you can do when you hold any stock, and trust me, if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about, is if you become too attached to that stock. Let's say if you bought a stock at $20, and then over the years it's become a stock that is $100. Think maybe GoPro, anybody, or Beyond Meat or something yeah, there's so many examples. But then don't get attached to the stock, because when it rises, you're like, oh, I love GoPro, I love the product, I'll never sell this, I'll holding it to the grave. Then go check Google what's the price currently for GoPro stocks right now. Yeah, do not become attached to the Pokemon product. Don't be like, oh, I have a box of I have a box of Obsidian Flame, I love Charizard, I will never sell this box, I'm gonna put this, plug it to bed, and then I'm gonna talk to it every day. You cannot do that when it comes to Pokemon investing. Just treat it as a commodity. And then I know that some people, it might offend some people, but like, oh, this is a kid's hobby, you are ruining it because blah 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 blah. I don't care about any of that, because that you're gonna toss that off the window right now, today. If you are a Pokemon investor, do not get attached to these products, because trust me, the things in my cabinet right now, some of them is just one of one for me. I don't want to sell them. Like the Lovebirds, I only have one copy. I don't have 10 copies of the Lovebirds, right? So for me, I'm a collector when it comes to those alternate art. But then, like say for Evolving Skies, yeah, I'm a investor in that sense. So does that make sense for you guys? Okay, I hope that I can clarify and help you guys kind of draw the line on which product for you appears to be a collectible and which part of your collection is investment. Okay, so get that clear before we begin. All right, so and that's actually a good segment to jump into, because on this column now, then within a collector space, then I am grading the box, and I'm gonna grade each generation. Let me know in the comments if you guys are liking what you guys see so far, and then I will reveal more and more, and then I will backtrack and go back to the sword and shield. I will backtrack and go back to the sun and moon, and maybe even the XY. But as I'm gonna be honest with you, as I dive deeper, like pre XY, then I become sort of like a newbie. Like I'm not experienced enough to talk about this. Speaking about experience, I want to kind of answer some questions about, oh, so what makes you, why are you qualified to talk about this? You're just like a YouTuber, blah, 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 blah. I got skin in the game, and I might not be at Rudy's level, but then I am definitely, I have enough to, yeah, let's just say I have enough, and I'm going to put on some pictures. I have enough products on hand to have some impact and have some power when I say these things. And then I don't use my in my authority lightly. If I have influence, I do think about what I'm about to say and what comes out of my mouth. So then these scores, I did give it some thought, and then I hope that it will be beneficial for you guys to give you guys a more clearer picture on whether or not you guys want to put your hard-earned money. Same for my hard-earned money, right? Pokemon collecting is very expensive, so I hope this brings you some clarity when we talk about Pokemon sets. Okay, so let's start and jump right in. Right now, the timing wise, I'm doing pretty well. I think I cleared up the questions that I want to answer. But for this first video, I'm gonna be talking about why I categorized the collector space the way that I did, and then I'm gonna quickly jump into the investor space and talk about why I classify it the way that I did. Again, I kind of massage the wording and the categories to make it applicable to Pokemon collecting plus investing. So the first thing that I will be rating the set on is the Pokemon artwork and also the illustration rare. So this one, the collecting space is more, I would say, subjective, and the investable space is more objective, and the investable space is subject to change, because as we and the product ages, then the growth and then the value also changes with time, right? Because lately, Black Bolt is actually kind of, I foresee it to overtake White Flare because of the Seismitoad. People are saying that card might be banned, and then when the card gets banned, people want to buy the original print, the batches that have the Seismitoad card, right? And then that will inadvertently drive up the price of Black Bolt, and then that will have an edge over White Flare, right? So then when these news drops, then it will impact the invisibility of the product, right? So I need to gradually change it. And then another very good column is the reprint resistance. So as the product ages, it becomes more resistant to reprints, and then hence the score will go more and more increase with time. So in this, and then I want to make it clear that these scores are only relevant for its era. So I'm not comparing, Destined Rivals to Silver Tempest. I'm not comparing it to Vivid Voltage, because there are different eras with different art style and different, there's progress being made in the Pokemon collecting space, right? So treat these numbers and treat this comparison, these scores, against only its own era. Because I cannot compare a base set and give base set a score and then compare it to like Journey Together, right? The delta, the difference is way too big, and then I don't want to get into that rabbit hole. All right, so let's go there one by one. So I've covered the artwork and illustration rare. That's pretty self-explanatory. The next one is the set diversity. So what will deem a set with a good score in the set diversity is maybe the not being focused on just one era, like not only Paldean starters, not only Paldean Pokemon. Maybe there's some from the Kanto region, some from the XY Pokemon, the Sun and Moon Pokemon. So there's a bit of diversity, and also how big the size. So some with like Paldea Evolve with like a large set number and a lot of secret rares, then the score is going to go up. With a set like Shroud of Fable, where there's only 64 cards and a less secret rares, then the score is going to be adjusted a little bit down, okay? Then the chase card. So this column is strictly having a look at the best of the set. So for example, in the SV base, We have the Miraidon, we have the Koraidon, we have the Miriam that was very, very sought after back then. And then, for example, in the Scarlet and 151, we're only looking at the chase cards. So like Alakazam, the legendary birds, and then the 3 starters, right? So this column is just giving a score based on the best card, the best showing from that set, okay? Next one is the cool factor. So the cool factor, there's a lot of things that we can talk about for each set, from the, you know, the box art, the box design, you know, like which artist is involved, and then, you know, what cards can be found within. So the cool factor is, again, it's a Ken score, so it's based on my subjective view on the set, okay? So we'll go through every set one by one. Then the fun to pull, okay? So I basically, whenever there's a new set that comes out, I will be ripping them, and then this is a subjective, again, these are all subjective, a subjective evaluation on how much fun that I have ripping them. And then I hope to give a score that will reflect somewhat what it will be like when, if you decide to, invest some money and make a purchase and then rip them. I hope that the experience can translate through the score, okay? So for example, like SV base, I call it a 5 out of 10. The reason I did that is because there really wasn't very high value cards found within the set. And then I did pull the chase card, the Miraidon EX, and yeah, it was very, very thrilling. But looking back, it wasn't a very highly valuable card, and then the art was not like as amazing as like a Moonbryon, for example, right? So then that's why I gave it like a 5 out of 10. Next column is going to be the growth potential. So basically, this is a score on how I foresee the set's growth in the near future, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years. Okay, so and then I'm going to give a score for each box. Then there's going to be a print quality. Again, this one, the print quality is a overall judgment on what I've been seeing online and also what I have observed when I pulled the cards, because I rip every single set, or I try to, and then I want to say, you know, oh, how's the centering, how's the surface condition, are there, like, is it prone to print lines? Because, you know, like if you rip Japanese 151 for the first batch, it was very, very prone to print lines. You know, the reverse hollows, you always get like a freaking vertical line or horizontal line, and then if you're very, very unlucky, you get a freaking crosshair right on all the reverse hollows. So yeah, if you guys ripped it, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be giving a score on the print quality based on what I've seen online from friends and also from my personal experience, okay? And then now this is a stability score. So as an investor, you always, some people are more risk adverse, some people are very risk tolerant. So I'm going to give it a score on, okay, yeah, if the score is like a 7 for Scarlet and Violet base, that means that the price have pretty much became stable, and then it's not going to change too much. Whereas a set such as Prismatic Evolution, there's reprints coming, Pokemon Company is still printing a lot, and then there's still a lot of unknown factors to determine when the price is going to settle. So obviously the stability score is going to be a bit weaker for Prismatic Evolution, right? Okay, so that will be revealed in part 2 of the video. Then lastly, not lastly, then the second last is going to be the value. So this is a current snapshot on how I feel whether or not the box, or the when I say the box, I refer me to the set, okay? So is the set worth your money to invest? So then that's going to go into the value column. And then the last one, I think I touched upon it earlier in the video, is the reprint resistance. So as the product age, then it becomes more and more resistant, and then that mark is going to go up and up and up. And then after a while, then the grand total would be the sum of the collector score and the investability score, okay? So the total will be on the very right hand side, and then right now I will probably keep it out of view, and then once we get to the end of the video, then I'll start to review them, okay? So looking at the timing right now, I will quickly go through maybe Scarlet and Violet base and then Paldea Evolve, and then as the time, I'll check the timer and we'll see how much we can cover, okay? So Scarlet and Violet base, it has a really nice showing for the first attempt of a new era, and then it's got nice Paldean starters, and the artwork actually looks really good. So I think some of the standouts, let me quickly pull it open, and then I actually have a lot of the artworks here, but the video is going to be too long if I showcase all of the slabs. So and then I got even more that I want to lay out, but then there's I'm like time limited on how much art I can, you know, display in a quick video. But let me just quickly look at the Scarlet and Violet I really like the Gardevoir EX. I think Great Tusk EX is being slept on. And then also you have the great artwork from Miraidon EX and Koraidon EX. Then obviously the Miriam, right? So that's why it scored a 6 out of 10. And then the set diversity, it got a 6 out of 10 because I gotta give it props because it's got the illustration rares are really, really cute. It's got some really nice cute ones like Riolu, and then it also, the Ralts, the Curlia, and then the Gardevoir tells a nice story. Plus it has the X Factor, which is the Drowsy. So then the set diversity also got a 6 out of 10. Chase cards, I already have it up here. The chase card out of the Scarlet and Violet, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because it being the first set of the era, people don't really gravitate toward the first set. The best performing sets historically have been somewhere in the middle or near the end of the release. It very, very rarely will the number one set, like look back at Sword and Shield base, it's not the most expensive or most popular set. Look back at Sun and Moon base set, is not the case. And in Scarlet and Violet's case, it's also not going to be the case. So then I gave it a 6 out of 10. For the cool factor, I mean, the base set, it's pretty like vanilla and nothing much to speak of. So just a 5 over there. And then a fun to pull. Again, there's not really much high value cards. I mean, right now, if you pull the Drowsy for the illustration rare, you might get a thrill from pulling that. But then the print quality is always off center, and it's actually very hard to grade. So So I think overall, I'll only give it a 5 out of 10. It's not a very fun set to pull. Like even suddenly, if I start ripping a box right now, I'm not gonna be getting much thrill out of ripping that. So the collector score that I got is a 28 out of 50. And then now moving on to the infestibility score, first column, the growth potential. The reason it got a 6 out of 10 is because it is the first set of the generation. And usually, if you look back at Sword and Shield, if you look back at Sun and Moon, and you look at XY, the XY is now sitting at $4,000 now. So people need the first set to complete a master set. So that's why I got a 6 out of 10. For the print quality, again, like I pulled the Drowsy before, and overall, the first attempt for this generation, it's nothing much to speak of. So I just gave it a 5 out of 10. And the stability, the price for SV base is pretty stable now. So give it a 7 out of 10. And the value, I foresee the Scarlet and Violet to actually go up to be worth in the next 2 to 3 years. I foresee this to be 2x the current value. Right now, it's sitting at $200 per box. So it is a very, very safe investment to get into right now. Plus, it's got great artwork. So as people, it's got potential to pop is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And then lastly, the reprint resistant is 8 out of 10 because it's pretty much discontinued at this point. It came out on March 31st, 2023. So it's like 2.5 years ago. So the chance of it being reprinted and the demand for SV base is not that great. Pokemon Company have bigger fish to fry. They want to print more Prismatic Evolution. They want to print more Surging Sparks, Journey Together. They want to print more like Paldean Fates. You know, they those kind of like peripheral products, you know, maybe not the booster box in an ETB, but then they want to stuff it into stuff like Blooming Waters and stuff like that, right? But then, well, they're gonna be stuffing more SV based booster packs into Blooming Water, as in like, or the, you know, the Pokeball, you know, Ultra Ball, and then the Great Ball, those kind of products. I don't really see it happening, right? So that's why it's got an 8 out of 10. So finally, it's a 33, and then if you add up the grand total, it's got a 61 out of 100. So that's the score that I've given Scarlet and Violet base. And we're coming up to 20 minutes now, so I'll create a second video to cover more, but then this video acts as an introduction of the can score, and then I will let me know in the comments if you guys are liking this perspective, because I don't see a lot of online commentators are doing this sort of content, and I want to present a unique way, both in the perspective of collecting and investing to you guys. So if you guys enjoy this content, please give me a like and subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to see more slabs, because I do have a lot of slabs, but then when I talk about slabs, I cannot talk about what I have on display on a desktop, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So I don't know which one should I do, but then if you guys want to see more PSA 10 slabs, look at the beautiful Blastoise, and then the Charizard, and then the Venusaur. Sometimes we can also do more video that will showcase, so we can admire the beautiful cards in person, right? Okay guys, so hope you guys enjoyed this video, and take care wherever you are. Once we hit 2000, we do the spin. So hope to see you guys soon, and in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.